is Tim Minch. I'm the program head of the Design and Manufacturing Engineering Technology program, formerly the CAD/CAM Engineering Technology program. And I'm also a research chair in additive and advanced manufacturing.
My name's Erwin Dick, and I am the program head of the machinist program here at Saskatoon campus of Sask Polytech.
My name's Ian Sean, and I'm the program head in Saskatoon, Sask Polytech of Welding and Fabrication.
Really what you do in the program, if I were to sum it up, you design, analyze, and build things. So if you've got interest in being an inventor or a builder or something along those lines, and you like mechanical stuff and even electrical and those sorts of things, that's kind of the essence of what we do.
We have two certificate programs. So we have a welding certificate program, which is 34 weeks long. We also have a fabrication and welding dual certificate program, which is also 34 weeks long. And then we have 3 levels of apprenticeship welding and 3 levels of metal fabrication.
Our program is the machinist program, which translates into metal manufacturing using precision tools. So we use tools such as the metal lathes that you see in the background behind me, to computer-controlled lathes and milling machines, drill presses, precision grinders. We do heat treatment and metallurgy, and we make precision manufactured parts for everything around us. Every part of the industrial world depends on manufactured precision parts. Engines on vehicles, transmissions, power generating equipment, agriculture, logging, mining. All the equipment and consumer products that you see around you depend on a machinist making parts.
It's a 6-hour day. So welding, they do about, it's about 30% of theory and 70% hands-on training, okay? Usually the schedule is 8 a.m. till about 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Standard work week is 8 till 3 o'clock, Monday to Friday, with an hour off for lunch. In a normal year, half our day would be spent in a shop environment working on our machine tools, and half the day would be in the classroom. And so about 3 hours in each every day. So lots of hands-on time, moderate amount of homework, some studying is required.
Essentially, you're going to have full days, probably a couple hours every night, and probably at least a day on the weekends. So you will be doing a lot of work, but you know, if it's something you're passionate about, it's nice and interesting to dig into some of the things that you like.
Job opportunities have been quite strong over the last several years. Even during COVID times, the machine shops in Saskatoon and throughout Saskatchewan, actually, in general, are doing quite well. So shops are busy, and our students have been in fairly high demand. It varies a little bit, and the economy fluctuates even month to month in Saskatchewan, but the job opportunities have been strong and fairly steady over the last 5 years or so.
Mainly, we're in the School of Mining, Energy, and Manufacturing. So it's a very broad range. Anything that deals with oil and gas, you know, steel construction, you know, because there's a lot of shops that do structural steel, so you could learn to lay out and do structural connections and structural welding. There's pipeline. Oil and gas is very broad. You can get into, you know, storage tanks, heat exchangers, pressure vessels, any of that kind of stuff. You can work in the sheet metal shop and learn how to weld sheet metal, fabricate, all that kind of stuff. You can get into building stairs, handrail, you know, platforms, ladders, you know, get into the artistic side of things if you're more the hobbyist and want to build furniture and that kind of stuff. there's a lot of different avenues you can go in welding and fabrication. It's just a massive trade.
It's actually really, really good. Even under the pandemic, our students are getting jobs. And I think the last survey we looked at from 2 years ago that I'm familiar with, the starting wages were somewhere between $48,000 and $60,000 per year. So it's a pretty good starting wage, and then you can obviously move up from there. In fact, some of our graduates are heads of manufacturing for multi-million dollar manufacturing companies in the province here. So there's lots of room to move up.
For one, I think we have a really good group of instructors at Sask Polytech. Usually students, it's more of a community. You build relationships and collaborate with instructors and other students that come in. And it's a really fun program. We have a few machines in the shop, and we show you how to, run the CNC plasma cutter, and we have little fun projects they can do. And typically what we do is try and build things that they can take home with themselves. And also things that they can use and throw in their toolbox and use in industry. But there's a large job market, and honestly, one of the problems we're facing in industry right now is there's a lot of boomers that are going to retire out of this job market. So you're going to see in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be a lot of positions that open up.
We do lots of hands-on work and lots of projects. So our students end up building what they design, which is not very common. And we have a few specific projects. One of them is in the CAM course, which is computer-aided manufacturing. That's where we use our CNC machines. And the students get to pick, we actually typically just grab a logo. So whatever your favorite sports logo or game logo or whatever it is that you're passionate about, you pick that logo, and then we make you machine that out in 3D. And it's not really a practical manufacturing project, I guess, but it really forces you to learn all the advanced features of the software, and that's why we do it that way.
One thing I'll point out is right behind me in my background picture, we have a shop full of brand new equipment. We've updated our shop equipment. Students coming in now get to work on brand new lathes and milling machines. We still have some of our older equipment, but we have not had changeover of new equipment. So it's beautiful to walk into, in my opinion. And it's just a pleasure to be in this environment. That being said, who is it for? I like people to think about, is it a good fit for you as an individual, anyone that's considering our program? So for a student that has a mechanical aptitude, for a student that likes to understand how mechanical things work, has a knack for that, and a knack for, if you're somebody that grew up having to take things apart to figure out how they work, that's a good person for our trade.
I got into engineering, I guess my first inkling was when I was younger. I was just interested in how things work and taking things apart, and did a little bit of poking around with things when I was little. And then when I got into high school, I found out I was good at math and physics, so that was kind of one of the career opportunities that opened up that was related to math and physics. And at the time, I wasn't overly good at English and those other related courses, so I thought, well, maybe engineering was the way to go. It turns out in engineering, you need your English and your communications anyhow. But at the time, I thought it was a good way to start out. As it turns out, if you're passionate about something, the communications part and the English and the grammar and the report writing is actually enjoyable once you have some area that you're really interested in, and you're writing about something that you are interested in.
Actually, I took a welder certificates program at Sask Polytech back in 1996, and coming out of that program, I got hired on at a company called Hitachi Canadian Industries. And I got indentured as an apprentice through them. And I got my journeyman welding ticket a few years later in '99. And then right after that, I went into metal fabrication, got indentured in that trade, and then did another 3 years of training. And just kind of continued. So worked there for 13 years, and then I've been instructing at Sask Polytech for 12.
I think in some ways I fit the description that I described earlier. When I was, a kid growing up, I had to be in my dad's shop. I grew up on a farm. We had a little workshop, as rustic as it was, and I was in there using dad's tools and taking things apart and putting them back together and just trying to figure things out, and I loved it. I had an uncle that was a machinist. I didn't understand what he did as a trade, but as a man working in the trade, but I really respected him, as my uncle, and I thought, if I'm going to emulate somebody, that would be a good choice. When I applied and became a student here in the program that I work in now, I was surprised at how little I knew about what the trade was, but nevertheless, it was a good fit for me, I think. Here I am 40 years later.
This is one of those things where the learning never actually stops. Like, I've been in this trade for 24 years now, and I just find that there's always a new challenge. I'm always interested in a new technology. Probably the thing I love most right now is when you get to a specific level and you're comfortable in welding and fabrication, you can just kind of start, okay, I'm interested in a bit of CAD design. I love to do layout. I love fabricating things and building it. And it's really nice to be able to know how to run all the equipment and do the layout, do the math, put everything together, and then understand how to weld everything out. And just see the whole project go from basically, blank sheets of steel all the way through the whole process to a finished product.
The biggest thing I love is playing with toys, and they're right behind you here.
But once I entered the trade and found a workplace that was hiring, did the most amazing things. Within my first 3 years in the trade, we were making rocket parts and for upper atmospheric research. We were making we were doing tool and die work for mass production that was being exported around. Like, parts we made here in Saskatoon were being exported around the world. It's kind of hard to describe, and it's a long time ago. So, but just the fact that some little mechanical component that you're making is integral to something real that's going on, that has a real impact in the world. To me, that was, thrilling and inspiring, and kept me going.
The biggest reason why you want to explore things, because there could be a career out there that you would just love, but you don't even know about it, or a program that has all the things you're interested in and you don't know about it. So being able to go out and explore those programs and find out what's out there, and then once you do that, then you have the ability to maybe see some things you didn't even know existed, and then have that option to pursue as a lifetime means of employment.
There's a lot of gray-haired people in that trade. And a lot of people don't know this trade exists. But right now in Saskatoon, there are probably 15 to 20 larger machine shops that most high school kids have never heard of. And they are looking for young people to fill their ranks of employees as people my age are more and more thinking about retirement. So there is a big need out there, and it's huge opportunities. Some of our graduates in the last few years, they come back and tell us things like they had no idea there was this much opportunity out there.
Well, you know what? Like, high school students, they have no idea what they really want to get into, and they don't know what the different trades are about. Like, a lot of people think, okay, yeah, welding, but what's involved in welding, you know? And you really get down to the, you know, the technical side of things, like, you know, electricity, you know, how current flows, different types of electricity, you know, how that behaves when you apply it to, you know, a welding rod and the material and all that kind of stuff. But I think just to have a broad understanding of what these different trades are about, and to also get some of that experience and hands-on experience in high school, because when you come in, it really helps you when you come into post-secondary. If you have a little bit of you know, not only an understanding, but a little bit of experience coming in.
We have a program video that describes what our program is like. I can help put them in contact with some of the local employers, and they can at least go to their website and view their company videos to see what their workplace might be like. You know, they can kind of see behind the closed doors of various workplaces and see inside, and they might say, that looks like a place I wouldn't mind going to every day as an employee. Or they might say, well, I'm not interested in that. So, you know, it's a good way to, it's one part of making a good decision, I guess. Yeah, do your best to be informed. And that's one of the ways of doing it. There's so many ways of checking into what it's all about online these days. It's a good start. When COVID ends, by all means, come to the school and visit us. You know, phone me, I'll try and make it available. You know, we do several open houses a year in a normal year. And so we're willing to bring people in and show them what the program's all about.
Find a job that you love and you won't have to work another day in your life. You know, if you love what you're doing, it doesn't seem like work. There's years and years of my work that I just enjoyed going to work every day, because I knew the stuff that I was doing was cool, and I was working with things and designing things, and it's really enjoyable when you find something that you love. So try to do that. If you can find something you're passionate with, then it makes work so much easier. And be patient. Don't think that the first job that you have, you know, if you don't exactly like what you're doing, and that's the beauty of this program that we have, is you learn so many different things. By the time you get to the end of your second year, you probably have figured out what you want to do, and you didn't take a chance of going into the wrong program. You have so many tools. You have the ability to move around to different jobs and different careers. And I haven't run into one of our graduates yet that wasn't happy with where they ended up. So
they work hard and do well in high school, it's really going to help them out when they come to post-secondary education. So I honestly think I'd say just prepare yourselves as much as possible, you know, taking the core courses, you know, when you're in high school, and also try and, you know, explore and have fun and learn about the trades a bit and get some experience if you can.